Exiles has undergone a bunch of changes again recently, and leveling has been affected where you can no longer use golems to mass gain some levels for yourself and thralls. But for yourself, no worries, my tried and true method still works, and I'm going to go into a couple of other ways also today. And the easiest ways to do it as a complete beginner noob with nothing, although I'm going to start off as level 23 or so because that's what level I happen to be, 22. I believe I'm on 2 times harvest, but one of the things you do want to get is work your way towards having hard work up, because you'll harvest twice as fast, which means you'll get your work done twice as quickly. You'll have more encumbrance, and efficient harvest is also nice because on single harvest nodes like this, you'll gather twice as many than you usually would. And as a bunch of the stuff we will be touching is single harvest nodes, it is very handy to have that because more XP. Now it does depend also on the type of tool you use. You used to only have to use a pick for either of these methods, but unfortunately now you do need to get a sickle also, but there's a bunch of spots where we can find that really easily. Don't worry, and also mind wipes pretty easily, so you don't have to worry about all your stats being weird here for later on. Although mind wipes are very easy to me. I personally don't love the black ice method, especially if you're like very fresh starting out and you don't also know the game very well. It's not super user friendly, although there are some exceptions to the fact that it is mildly quicker a lot of the time because there's a lot of it. And also we have the joys of being able to get a stone pick pretty much straight away for not very many resources. We don't have to rely on RNG to get these guys. What I was going into before is the higher the level of your tool, the more you will harvest, therefore the more XP you will get. Pretty much everything gives you a little bit of XP, so if I mine the stones, enough of these will eventually give me 1 XP, but it's pretty slow, and the higher up you go, the worse it gets. But I do highly advise just touch everything along your way because every little bit counts. You pick all the bushes, craft stuff in your pocket, and that's one way to get up to at least level 20-ish by the time you get to these other spots. Bedrolls are also pretty handy, as well as maybe a torch or 2 to keep you warm if you happen to be going to the black ice. They do have a warmness buff. And even a shitty set of clothing, but if you happen to run through Sepu Meru, you're likely to find some clothing in some of the boxes or from some of the easy to pick off people there, or even a couple of Defari, so it's worth checking the boxes on your way if you're not in a super hurry. Obviously pick aloe plants because they are excellent XP too. Craft up some heals because you may need them. Water skins are also pretty handy if you happen to have walked past the one when you start, like I always like to do. Now, how do you get your hands on something like a steel sickle before your time, as you do usually have to be quite higher level to be able to even unlock the crafting of it? But there's some really reliable boxes very straight away, so we can climb up this little cliff here, and we're looking out for little ghosty dudes. And if you have seen my whole guide I've got on a bunch of these dudes about, you can easily run a few of the spots if this one happens to be not here, or drop whatever you want in it. If you're on multiplayer, it'll just take a while for it to respawn. On single player, leave the area and come back, and it will also come back. So essentially just follow where they pointed, but we are also right here in F3. Flying across all the way, we start off there. It's pretty easy to just run over here because obviously you're not going to be flying. Doing that for time benefit. I found this hardened steel sickle in it last time, and that's the rest of the stuff that was in it. So you can get some purple lotus orbs, some potions, very nice. The other box, because if you don't loot everything, you get weird 2 boxes. We also got a steel sickle. Let me just take all from this one, and then that'll open. We got a steel sickle, we got some more potions, some night eye potions, some good heals, definitely worthy, some gas. And you may likely find a repair kit to be able to repair your stuff. If not, hoard a couple of different sickles. Another pretty reliable spot to come and get some early game tools, but you'll likely also find a weapon in here, so it's pretty worthy to come poke your head in here and learn sorcery. Is that Shaleback Hollow, right in front of the Cave of Kurak. You'll find a couple of turtle guys in here that you can generally run past. I'm in creative mode, so I'm just gonna fly. Whee! They're not too hardcore, and you can kill them for some decent XP. Touch this if you haven't get your Tome of Kurak and your staff. You can ice bridge across, or you can simply jump down and climb up and come this way. You'll also find a fair decent chunk of gold and silver in here, so if you do want to do some purges anyway, early game, it's pretty doable. without having to find a whole bunch of treasures. Sometimes you won't find your desired tool, and sometimes this is a skeleton key box. Don't use a skeleton key because, as you can see, it's not worth it, but if it's bag on the ground, do touch it. These ones over here behind the statue are usually what's going to give you the good stuff. But again, no sickle. We did get a hatchet. Very nice. And we can always dismantle this in a dismantling bench when we're of level. And we got a nice weapon. So we'll take all there. All this other stuff we can also place on the ground and dismantle for resources if we like. Yeah, no sickle here today, but that other box pretty much all the time at the beginning over here in F3 will have a sickle. Not always, but pretty much always. Now you have yourself your sickle. Make your way down to anywhere on New Beach. There's a couple of different places that I'll go into showing you. One of my favorite ones I will save for a little bit later. I do have a quadrillion guides on how to level this way. So, and a couple of different locations of all the different mushrooms. We can kill these crocodiles for some decent experience also. I will equip that and actually place that there. Boop. Exit to creative mode, and as I am naked, I'm probably gonna get messed up. No, for some reason, not too bad. We got about 2000 XP. I'm very encumbered, but with the hardened steel sickle, we get a lot of XP and about 48 with the steel sickle. Now, mind you, it is a little hard sometimes to hit them and hit multiple, but that's why mushrooms are fun because there's big groups of them. By the time, even with this one, we're still getting a butt ton. Yeah, we are going to want to use our steel one because that's the one we got from the box, so it's a good demonstration. So obviously the more mushrooms you can find, the better the situation, but not only mushrooms are good harvesting, a lot of different flowers, but specifically lotuses. If you haven't seen my other leveling guides, I'll show you those too. Then we'll come back to more mushrooms, or rather really show some mushrooms along the way. This spot is around IJ4. There's a lot of other mushroom spawns about the place, but this one's nice and easy to get to. A bit further up the river, we're also going to find a few more crocodiles. Come here, weapon. Can I equip my weapon? That would be sick. So just punching him to death. But you can do that. Skinning them or picking them will also give a little bit of XP and is worth doing. Skinning definitely gives more. We are now on this knobbly island in 7L, which is just practically covered in puffball mushrooms. So you can just go sickle this whole situation. You used to be able to pick mushrooms, but you can't do it anymore because they're like ruining all our fun. Boo. Mushrooms as far as I can see. But while you're in the neighborhood, might as well pop on over to here. Also in the same little cubicle, you're going to find a lot of purple lotus, but also the shoebill birds, which give a decent chunk of XP when killed as well. Exit creative mode and actually try and equip something. Come here, you bastard. Oh, I'll show you the lotus while he's slowly walking away from me. Very chunky XP, and there's a lot of it around this area. You can level up pretty quickly, and by the time you've harvested all of it and then moved on to our next location and got all those mushrooms as well, by the time you come back, they'll be here. There's also a blood rock nose golem in that pillar if you fancy getting some of that. And you might as well get the true indigo while you're here. It's not horrible. Then we'll kill the shoebill. Come here, shoebill. He just does not care for me. Now, of course, I ran out of stamina. There's usually a lot of them about, pretty easy to take out. 4.5k. Don't love killing these dudes. Just admit kill him. They're kind of annoying, so I avoid them. But there's a lot of shoebills all in this area. So definitely kill them when you see them, and might as well kill these little dudes. We'll miss every one of them. Now our next area is a little bit more spicy in the Black Gardens here because we have some great ape and gorillas. I'm very full, so I can't really escape them, but that's alright. They are also very good XP when killed, but they will do a bit of sundering nonsense to you. 6,000 for these guys. The grey ape guys give way more. And the black lotus here is amazing XP. Gold lotus in the volcano is also very good. But this is very, very good. Even when you are higher level, it just maintains being very good. Practically 2 lotus per harvest situation. And as you can see, the gas isn't too bad, and you can just waddle yourself up before you die out of the gas and heal. And unlock cartographer journey step, apparently. Alright, because I got to 25. Yeah, you're going to want to kill these grey apes in the area. Again, pretty easy to take out. Fair few of them, they can be demonic with the one skull, and they'll offer some extra goodies when hacked up. Potentially mind wipes. Oh, see, almost 10k XP. Gold and silver chunks. Still fire. Lots of demon blood. Click, click, click. Could wait for my stamina to regen too, but why do that when I can button mash? I apologize for the cheering guy in the background. If you do happen to really want to go get black ice for your leveling, which is not a bad idea once you're a little bit more leveled up, or even if you are going to our next destination, I advise coming over here and visiting. Oh, I think he's over here. And you know what? Set up. Over here? Where did I put him? This guy? Yeah. So grab some silver from basically any box from New Beach to here. You're likely to find a little bit, and buy some spiced pork. You can often find some spicy food in boxes as well, so they're worth checking. This one around here can sometimes have food, but also knocky outy truncheony bit. We found some spicy food and some knocky outy truncheony bits. Worth checking. We are by the West Wall prison in 7A. Now this area is a little bit more skits and less worth it super early, mostly because of these guys not dropping the Nordheimer armor anymore, like my old video, which gets kind of poo, but they do drop some goodies. And as you can see, there's lots of Amanita mushrooms, a bit of a change up from the puffballs, and they're bloody everywhere. A lot of stone. The yellow lotus isn't nearly as good at XP as regular lotus, but if you need a bunch, oh, get it. You can also find things like hops and the leavening agent around that will also give decent-ish XP and worth getting when saying I'm in creative mode, so it's actually not giving anything, so I'm just hacking and talking for no bloody reason. And you can't even see. But yeah, little bit less good than the lotuses, as you can see, but better than most things, and so much about. And these guys are very good XP, but unless you happen to have found some decent weapons and armor along your way, they might be a little bit too spicy. Most areas in the Black Icy region, gathering regions, you will get frostbite when you leave creative mode or are here not in creative mode without that spicy food. And again, the better the pick you use, the better the XP you're going to get from these. And you'll see inside there is a lot. But the giants will likely mince you, and the frostbite, she real. So do place a bedroll about. The giants themselves used to have a pretty decent chance of dropping spicy foods, but what are we gonna get now? They will give you also a cold snap when hit. Apparently I'm too far away from him. There are a couple of legendary guys in here if you are closer to, oh, that's why they only basically drop black ice now. If you are closer to level 60, it is worth getting those dudes. And right behind here, we can also find some boxes, and on the other side with the steps, so you get a little bit of a chance at a free weapon. All of this is black ice. And once it's all harvested, never mind, leave creative mode. As you can see, I'm extremely cold. I haven't eaten any of the spicy. You can just do this and keep making stone picks, but you'll get a lot less with the stone pick. I don't know where I've put it, though. Therefore, a lot less XP. Making it mildly less worth your time, but you can just keep dying and not worrying and keep making a bunch, or make a bunch by the time you get here. But as you can see, I'm dying quite quickly and it's a bit of a hassle. But rather than go through all that stress, I like to head on down to near the den in 8D by our little Jhebbal Sag entrance guy. In fact, we're going to talk to him. Come to me. And for 5 feral flesh, we can play a potion of midnight. We're going to do, and then we are going to consume. It does only have a 30-second timer, so do be speedy about it. And that's going to lead us into the Jhebbal Sag dungeon, which we can then use to travel to Sepu Meru if we want to do some of this and then mix it up, go buy some spicy and run on up to the Black Ice. There's a quick way to do it. By just coming here and leaving creative mode, you can actually get all of these. And there's a pretty solid chance that you actually get a pick and a weapon, not a pick, a sickle and a weapon from some of the boxes here, but at least come with stone daggers, as there's a fair few animals that you can take out. And if you have a skinning knife, do skin them as well, because that does tend to give the most XP when available. But yeah, there's so many here all throughout the entire dungeon. By the time you've gotten a bunch all through here, more than most likely they would have started to respawn. And you can kill these dudes if you happen to have your weapon equipped, which of course I don't. And I have no points in strength or nothing, and they're like 5k XP. Even picking it is going to be better than not, but you will get a lot more from the sickle. You will periodically have to go into your inventory and drop all the mushrooms so you can exist, and remember to distribute your extra points into like strength or vitality, because having that robust can be handy. Also really depends on what you're working on. You don't have to finish the dungeon, you can just keep going back to that middle place, running around here getting all the hides off these dudes. It's a great hide farm, one of the best in my opinion. If you go buy a camel before you come here and raise it, you can be bothered waiting the hour or so it takes to tame a dude. Then we got a lovely little free weapon. Sometimes these dudes drop armor, but as you can see, it's very durable at level 26 with no armor and a shitty weapon that I found. This box can often have a mind wipe in it or other heals and potions. We also did get a sickle, so if you hadn't found one by now, very likely you would find one straight away. Couple of ways to go. I have other guides that do go into this whole Jhebbal Sag dungeon. Some with more of the animals, some with more of the people. I advise going around and killing everything, really. By the time you leave this dungeon, you will more than most likely be level 60 or damn near close, even if you don't fight all the bosses and do all the things. By doing that, you'll get some extra fun goodies. It's a great source of pig in here for making salted pork. And all of these glowy things, every single one of them is a mushroom that you can hack up, and this dungeon is pretty dang big. So in combination with being able to hack up stuff, with also having very decent thralls to kill and animals to kill and skin for their hide. If I was skinning them too, you'd see even extra XP. And we got ourselves a skirt now, so that's lovely. A little bit of extra damage. Another free skirt, which we could dismantle if we had big pockets or a camel, or have a spare skirt. We'll leave there. These are also treasure, so you can pick them up and do a purge when you leave, because they add a decent amount to treasure, or simply trade them in for some gold. This is my favorite place to come, and some of the ways I go about getting stuff to do this dungeon, but you can come in here practically naked. Your only requisite is to eventually find a sickle, and if that other box didn't have one, we have one here. Yeah, sure, not as good at being an iron, but keep using it until you find a better one in one of the next boxes. Keep killing these guys. Keep distributing your points. And actually have a little bit of fun. Don't do mindless monotony grinding whilst you're doing mindless monotony grinding. You can also kill some things and then get back to the monotonous mindless grinding. After all these guys are dead, then you get the mushrooms. Plus free treasure and lots of stuff to repair your things with. So if they're about to break, you can fix them with any old repair kit now. The higher the grade the repair kit, the more and better it will repair it, but it's for another time. Now you can get kind of ganked by this lot. Again, another video for another time, but I highly advise coming here to level up. Let me know if you like to use mushrooms and lotuses and skinning stuffs, harvestings essentially, with a little bit of killing, or if you like just straight up harvesting or straight up killing, or are you a bit of a black ice human? Let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear how people do it themselves. I've been doing it this way for bloody years now. Only a couple of years now have been coming into specifically the Jhebbal Sag dungeon and doing it that way. I used to love doing lotuses because I thought that was sick, which it still is. This I just find a little bit more useful to end game, because I can get stuff I can use later a lot more than a whole pocket just full of mushrooms. I get a pocket full of mushrooms and other cool shit, and I get to learn the Jhebbal Sag religion if I can be bothered completing it. Yeah, what other ways do you like to level up? let me know. I love to hear all your guys' feedback. Consider sticking around for another Conan Exiles video or one of the other games that I happen to play. Until next time, I hope you have an excellent day, evening, night, morning, whatever it may be, wherever you may be. Smash that like button if you liked it, and subscribe if you feel like it. See you all next time.